Star Wars was one of my first loves in media, and it's been in a drought for quite some time. And The Mandalorian was a bright spot in those dark times for a galaxy far, far away. Well, until we got to season 3, and then it was kind of just like the rest of them. But don't worry, we're getting away from those mid-ass Disney Plus shows with a season 4 of The Mandalorian turned into a movie instead of a show. That's right, in May 2026, we're getting a Mando and Grogu movie. Well, it was going to be a season of the show, like I said, but they've turned it into a movie, so let's look forward to it, right? We're back in cinemas, baby. I understand why some people might be skeptical, seeing that it's not the most appealing prospect that they take a show and turn it into a movie. You'd rather just make it as what it was originally intended as, but it seems like they made this decision pretty early in the process, and as they just wrapped up production back in December of 2024, details about the plot have started to leak out, so let's go through what we know so far. There's been a lot of leaks about this movie recently, starting off with Christian Harloff, and then they were all kind of backed up and expanded on by the Bespin Bulletin. Oh, and obviously spoilers ahead. If you don't want to know anything about the movie, feel free to dip out like 10 minutes ago. First off, the biggest leak is that the plot of this movie is basically from the Clone Wars. Like, we've done this one before. But that's alright, the main antagonist is going to be Imbo, a bounty hunter who appeared in the Clone Wars for probably like 15 minutes of screen time over 7 seasons. He was voiced by Dave Filoni, and Dave's going to do the voice in the live action version as well, probably someone else standing in though. He's hired by the 2 Hutts who appeared in the Book of Boba Fett in order to go kill Rhoda the Hutt. The same Hutt who was kidnapped in that Clone Wars episode when he was a baby, and Jabba's son. But he's all grown up now. Oh yeah, and he's a buff gladiator who wields a vibro blade. Those are those same blades that those red guards the Emperor had wielded. Which is interesting because you wonder, does he does this for fun, or is he like not in a position of power like you would expect a Hutt to be? He clearly isn't on the best terms of some of the other Hutts, so perhaps he isn't in like a leadership position like that. Kinda an outcast. Oh yeah, and Jeremy Allen White's the one playing the buff Hutt. And as funny as it sounds to say a buff Hutt, it actually isn't unprecedented. According to the EU, I believe this was from the Han Solo origin, Hutts are muscular in their youth, and then as they gain power and wealth, they grow in other ways as well. This was also super iconically shown in the Darth Vader comics where he was dealing with one of Jabba's cousins who was a buff Hutt. It'll be interesting to see this in live action though. How far between Jabba and Doomsday is this guy gonna be? But yeah, Imbo's hired to kill Rada, and our guys Din and Grogu are hired by the New Republic supposedly to rescue Rada. You gotta ask, why does Mando and Grogu have to go rescue this tough-ass gladiator? But they don't tell us that right now, we'll have to wait and see. My speculation is he's an outcast, so perhaps he doesn't have a lot of resources. Or perhaps he disagrees with like the Hutt's gangster ways. Maybe he's a good one. Kinda doubt it though. Oh yeah, and they're gonna get an assist from Zeb, which has been set up with us briefly seeing him in live action already in Ahsoka. Also, while we're talking cameos, Sigourney Weaver has been cast as a New Republic colonel and apparently has a name that's a reference to her character in Alien. I wonder if this is truly a cameo or set up for a future appearance. Jeff Snyder reported she's only in a few scenes, so I'm not expecting much, but maybe in the crossover movie? It's also suggested by the Bulletin that perhaps she's the one that hires Mando. That makes a lot of sense to me. So yeah, that's pretty much what we know about the plot so far, but we're really far out from the movie's release in May 2026 still, so there's more details to come. Supposedly the Mandoverse crossover movie that they want to do depends on the success of this Mando and Grogu movie, so hopefully it's a banger. My thoughts are pretty much that I definitely hoped Mando and Grogu's first theatrical outing would be kind of bigger in scale than this plot sounds. This truly feels like just an episode of Mando that they put on the big screen. That being said, I have a good amount of faith in Jon Favreau. We all know he has the creative capability, as the guy who kicked off the MCU with Iron Man and made the first 2 seasons of Mando, that third one too I guess. But you just gotta hope Star Wars doesn't self-sabotage as they always do. One thing I think will be really important, and I hope they do well, even if the plot is smaller in scale and not like galaxy defining, is make it like a high quality production. I feel like the Disney Plus shows have really struggled with that. Outside of Mando 1 and 2 and Andor, everything else has felt so cheap or cheesy, whether it's it's weird effects, bad lightsabers, bad looking backgrounds, or just bad writing, you'd hope returning to the theaters they can get back to that epic cinematic feeling, which is probably one of the only good things you can say about the sequels in my opinion. And I'm not even going to praise them that much, but the point is, it has to feel better quality than the shows we can watch on Disney Plus, because they're not that good. Also, some cameos would be cool. I mean, I know we're gonna get Zeb, but if we could get some badass Boba Fett, he's already involved in the Hutts, why not, right? He's gotta be in there, I feel like. He's not getting a season 2. I don't think he is. So, let's finish up his story. Redeem Beta Fett. But yeah. The rumored budget for this movie is a pretty conservative $120 million, which is wild seeing that Andor had a budget of $645 million for 2 seasons. Really makes you think there's no way making these Disney Plus shows instead of movies is worth it. Makes no damn sense. Like, just make an Andor movie at that point, right? But that's a topic for another day. For now, let me know what you think of these Mando and Grogu plot details, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Subscribe for more stuff like this. Till next time, peace out.